It would be nice if we just have our people understand how powerful it is, how special and sacred it is. That's all I want, for them to understand the sacredness of the land, the sacredness of the ceremony, the sacredness of water, animals, all of that. When this gets put on TV or wherever and the ceremonies are being shown, people are going to be critical and judgmental. Who the heck do you think you are? That's how it's going to be. There's too much confusion. There's too much animosity. It's time. We all bleed, we all hurt, and we all look for understanding and compassion. We walk this road together, all throughout Indian country. We're the same. I don't care what color you are. If I can teach you how to love and how to respect and be more compassionate toward other people, that's all the reward I want.
Wabmaxtu is home to many Cree heroes. It's my hometown and the source of my identity. My name is Pakesso Mukesh. I am on a quest to find Indigenous champions and unsung heroes from across the Americas. People driven to save their culture, language, spirituality, and territories. My mission is to find out what connects us so that we can learn from each other, share our wisdom, and bring about the change we want in our lives in balance with the teachings of our ancestors. It's cruel being told that you are going to die. Being told to prepare and say last goodbyes. But last goodbyes can be a special thing, a last chance to make peace with life and death.
Even though he's younger than I am, I consider this man to be my elder. And there's a long, long story of Mike helping a lot of people.
This is Mi'kmaq territory, and I'm in the community of Eskasoni. I'm here to meet Mike Ducet, a renowned spiritual leader, recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and given 6 months to live.
Hey, so proud of you. Keep dancing, keep drumming. Teach your kids and love your kids.
This might be the last time the community will see Mike dancing and smiling on these powwow grounds. Mike never expected to be so warmly embraced, given his violent past.
A lot of our people were just getting back from residential schools in the 60s and 50s, or coming back home, but didn't know the language, didn't really care much for culture or anything. Christianity was beaten into them. It was crazy. It was truly crazy. People shooting at each other, beating each other up. A lot of domestic violence. A lot of that. And it was absurd to grow up in that, but it was the norm. Everybody thought it was normal. It really did. They really did. I didn't see it until I started working on myself in the 80s. I was an angry man when I was a young man. I was a very angry, lost individual. If somebody new came to our community and I heard they were here, I just have to look at them and poof, smack them. Hello, welcome to a Mi'kmaq territory.
His mother, Georgina Ducet, has seen his transformation from an angry young man to one seeking inner peace.
And that's Mike what he's met. Remember Mr. T?
Yeah. He looks tougher than Mr. T. Wow, I would not mess with Mike.
Mike was always that kind of a person that when he did something,
he gave it all he had. Then when he switched, and there was another Mike inside that was dying to come out, I guess, all these years.
I think you're gonna need this.
On a journey of self-discovery, he committed to walk down a traditional Mi'kmaq spiritual path, a vision quest, a ceremony combining prayers and fasting. Mike sat in isolation with no food and water, a sacrifice in exchange for guidance from the spirits.
This is where I sat for 8.5 days. In fact, it was right over there in that bush. And this is where all my visions came to me here. And while I was sitting here, I'm going through emotional upheaval about what I went through, my childhood abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse. That I was reliving that, rehashing that, figuring out why, trying to figure out why. And where am I going? Why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for?
This would become a defining moment in his life. Through visions, he received the spiritual guidance he was seeking from his ancestors.
6th day out of fast, I'm dry. And I'm sitting there and I just finished smoking my pipe. And all of a sudden I get this, this feeling that somebody was behind me. Look at this, my hair stood up like this. And I look up like this, and this tall individual stand behind me. I looked at him. What are you here for? He tells me, come with me, come walk with me. He has a bow and an arrow, and we're hunting. So we see this deer jump out and knocks it down. We run over. The deer's there gasping, dying. So he takes some water and he pours it into the deer's mouth, and he's praying with the deer, talking to the deer like it's his brother. And he looked at me and he told me, why aren't our people doing this anymore? Why don't our people honor that animal they kill? Why don't they talk to the spirit of that animal? Be grateful for that animal. And I'm standing there and these visions are coming at me like they're just zooming by like this, and I'm trying to see this. I'm trying to realize, what is that? What is that? What was that? Kept coming. And he looks at me and says, you can't see it all. You can't bring it all back either. The rest of your nation, the rest of the people have to go up on the mountains and fast, and build your culture back up, build your ceremonies back up. That eastern door is open. You got your foot in that door. You opened it up again.
After 8.5 days, Mike returned to his people with a clear vision and a purpose. A vision that was not always welcomed by his own community.
I got you guys.
Mike stepped into Mi'kmaq spirituality with both feet. However, his new outlook was a source of division and ridicule.
When I started running lodges here and bringing my family into Sweat Lodge, my children, that's all it was for me and my children to take part in a cultural ceremony, to find out who we were, and working on healing. My kids would go to school to the bus stop just over there, just 100 and some odd yards away from my house. They would be verbally assaulted by other children, made fun at by those children's parents. They got to school, they were assaulted in school from other children. They were called dog eaters, savages, and they're by our own people.
While being rejected by his own, Mike traveled to other Mi'kmaq communities such as Meowbegek or Conn River in Newfoundland to share his teachings. This community was established through a traditional oral history, officially recognized in 1985. While it was trying to rediscover itself, Mike offered his guidance.
He's been coming here for 28 years, and he's been a gift, sort of. You know, he brought his knowledge and his friendship and his teaching and skipped me on the red road. I hope you'll have many more years bringing these teachings there.
To preserve knowledge of the past, one must begin by passing it down to the youth.
First time we drummed at the school, the teachers made all the kids stand all around the edge of the auditorium. Wouldn't let them come into the center of the gym where the drum was, where we were. The principal told us that they'd be scared of the loud banging. And they took to it, though. The kids, we got them anyway. We finally got permission to let them come around the drum. And then a few years later, they wanted to bring the drum into the school to teach the children drum and teach them songs.
Mike always makes sure his first stop in Conn River is to the school to visit the kids.
I gotta get my hug. Oh, you're so lucky, whoever you are. Oh, you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous.
Hey,
God's gift you are. God's gift.
Hey guys, how you doing?
It takes somebody like him, because his whole being is wrapped around the drum and the spirituality which is embased in it. So today to have him come in here is the same for any Catholic to have Pope Francis in here. He's that well respected. He's a beautiful person.
This song, especially this song, what that song we just sang, that honor song, you know what it means?
Respect for tribes?
It's about respecting who we are. Get me there, the image is to respect. To respect. Respect your who you are as a native person, what you are as a native person. We're Mi'kmaq. Okay, we're Mi'kmaq. Respect and honor that. From then to now, there's more sense of community here. Bigger understanding of culture here, you know, and they've embraced it, they've taken it, and they're running with it. They're moving into it.
Hey God! And he was complaining that they couldn't get his band on it.
Mizel Joe is an elected and traditional chief of Conn River and a good friend of Mike's. He is now a pipe carrier and spiritual leader for his community.
We knew it was out there, but didn't know how to get there, and start realizing that what we've been missing is exactly what we're doing now. And a lot of people from that first sweat and talking to Mike and talking to a lot of other people start doing fasts. We still, you know, people stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs, and a lot of people's been clean. But that's going back almost 30 years ago, pretty close to it. In this community, a lot of people are still afraid of the church and the powers of the church. They were saying we're worshiping the devil, we're having orgies, whole bunch of stuff. We were threatening to send the fire truck in, put our fire out, and a whole bunch of stuff. But we keep doing them day after day, you know. But when you get in the sweat lodge, you forget about those people. All you can do is really pray for them. And that's what we've been doing. We pray for everybody in the community, past, present, and in the future.
Mike has been a part of Conn River's spiritual revival for 30 years. In this special moment dealing with his cancer, the people of Conn River have become a part of Mike's journey.
We must long for the sound of our own Mi'kmaq language, and we must long for the songs that's been sung And the sound of the drum that calls.
It's Remembrance Day in Conn River, a day to remember those that sacrificed their lives for their people. For Trevor and others from Conn River, so long as the drum is heard, Mike's memory will live on.
Conn River will miss his sense of humor, his knowledge for the Mi'kmaq way, his teachings of the Sweat Lodge, the sunrise ceremonies. There's a lot of things they'll miss about him. And I know for one thing, I'll miss him myself.
It's just not the people, it's the land. It's something special about the land here. It touches me in such a way, you know, just touches my spirit, my soul, or whatever you want to call it. It's just beautiful. What's driving me is to pass on this gift. This understanding of nature, this understanding of ceremony, this understanding of Creator, a little bit of understanding of Creator, but mainly about who we are as First Nations people, as Mi'kmaq. And that's what I want to leave behind.
Mike's story is similar to that of many other Indigenous spiritual leaders. Men and women who sacrifice their daily lives to focus on a spiritual lifestyle and fully engage in ceremony and practices. Mike has lived a life pushing boundaries, testing himself, his people, and his nation. With little time left, Mike feels compelled to share this message.
There's so many different factions of traditionalists. They're creating more division than they are of unity. They're jealous of each other. They're making up protocols and making up rules. You know, if you're not up to what they consider a traditionalist to be, they won't respect you in the way that you deserve to be respected. We're not there to become menacing men. We're only doing this to become a better person, a better human being, an understanding, more compassionate human being. We don't want to be judgmental. We don't want to be critical to anybody. We just want to find what's been missing in our lives, what we've lost, what's been put in the back for past 600 years, 500 and some odd years since the contact. People believe that our teachings and our traditions and our old way of life is gone. It's non-existent. But the ancestors they can show you, and they have shown people. Condor feather. That's what that is. What the ancestors give you and the spirits give you when you're on these vision quests and these fasts are for the people. You got to believe in it, heart and soul. That's all. Pakesso wapalatas and tamanami. Chuari ekulu pisun dantel nidai chingigumana. Dantel dochtmani. Come on. I'm asking for healing for those who are suffering with cancer, heart trouble, diabetes, and any other illness they may be carrying.
Mike was told to say his last goodbyes, to prepare. With no assistance from modern medicine, he put his faith in traditional healing ceremonies. In recent months, his tumors have inexplicably been reduced to nearly nothing. Tonight's sweat is to give thanks for a medical mystery that, perhaps, can only be answered by the spirits that watch us in ceremony.
Ni na wabe moon wezi do alcoholism na ni pamaro na taman ka ni kom just no kama ta desage. I ain't mad or I ain't discouraged today, but I know there'll be a day where I feel hopeless, because I'm living on borrowed time. But I want to leave the understanding of what I do in ceremony and pipe, with this pipe. And as we smoke, you're trying to keep your mind in a good place. You're trying to keep your thoughts and feelings in a positive manner. And you're calling on these ancestors that sit in those directions. You're calling on your spirit helpers that sit in these directions. You're acknowledging everything that creation has given you. And then we smoke. Would you smoke with me, brother? Ola zit khamug eskuirai